I want to hear more about your backstory, which is fascinating, and how you came to this country. It was 1993.
Yeah.
You were 12 years old, and a man you thought was your uncle, you would later find out was something called a coyote, smuggled
He was the smuggler that smuggled
into
me
this
here.
country. Your grandfather paid quite a lot of money.
$3,400.
Wow, to get you here.
For a security guard, that was a lot of money.
Do you remember that, or do you know how you were smuggled into the U.S.?
No, I mean, I remembered, of course, being on the plane because it was my first ever plane ride. I'd never been on a plane before, and I think maybe I was so excited about the whole airport plane thing that I'm Filipino. We have big families, and so when my mother said to me that this guy was my uncle, everybody's an uncle, right? So, okay, sure. And when I got to America in 1993, you know, I was excited to live with my grandparents, and I thought everything was fine. And I'm really proud that I come from such a welcoming community. I grew up in Mountain View, California, where Google is at. And so I thought everything was fine. It wasn't until I went to the DMV to get a driver's license that I found out that the papers that my grandfather had given me, including the green card, was fake. And you know, I remember the first thing I thought of when the woman at the DMV said it was fake, I thought, I'm not Mexican. Because, you know, as a 16-year-old, I had internalized this whole narrative that immigration is about the border, it's about Mexico, it's about, right? And so my name is so Latino because of Spanish colonialism in the Philippines. I just thought maybe the woman thought I was Mexican, right? And the woman was like, I don't care what you are, this is fake.
But you kept that secret for
a
number of years, and you wrote about that later in the New York Times Sunday magazine about what that was like, keeping that secret. You said you tried hard to be a model American, and I'll read part of your essay. You said, but I'm still an undocumented immigrant, and that means living a different kind of reality. It means going about my day in fear of being found out. It means rarely trusting people, even those closest to me, with who I really am. It means keeping my family photos in a shoebox rather than displaying them on shelves in my home so friends don't ask about them. It means reluctantly, even painfully, doing things I know are wrong and unlawful. And it has meant relying on a sort of 21st century underground railroad of supporters, people who took an interest in my future and took risks for me. What sort of things did you find that you had to do wrong or that were unlawful in keeping your secret?
Getting a driver's license. That was, you know, when the Washington Post said, we want you to be an intern for us, they said, you have to have a driver's license. And I hadn't gone to the DMV since I found out that I was here illegally. And I spent a whole day researching how to get a driver's license and found out that the state of Oregon.
So you came here?
I came here in 2003. And that happened because of what you just said, the underground railroad of supporters. My high school principal, my high school superintendent, the son of my high school superintendent's secretary was the one who drove me all the way from Mountain View up here to Portland to get a driver's license and learn how to parallel park in Pioneer Square. And that license was valid for 8 years. If it wasn't for that license, I would not have gone to the Washington Post. I would not have been able to have a job, you know, writing for the New Yorker. Like, you know, those things would not have happened. So I wonder, you know, as we're sitting here, how many other U.S. citizens are doing what my principal, my superintendent, all of my mentors did for me.